going to talk about thyroid today and really dive into a tough question that I get a lot of the time, which is, can my thyroid get better on its own? I've had thyroid stuff before. I've had issues and I was put on a medication or a certain dosage of something, and am I going to have to be on this for the rest of my life? The short answer is not necessarily, right? And I'm going to share this from my own personal perspective and my own personal story. So I am Dr. Beth Westy, women's health and hormone expert, author of the books, The Female Fat Solution, The Female Menopause Solution. These are on Amazon, as well as author or host of the podcast, The Female Health Solution. You can listen to that on all places podcast. And I do have an episode where I dive into this. I really dive into my personal story. So I'll give you the quick version of it right here, right now. But you can subscribe to my podcast as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel here. That way you stay updated on all the videos I have coming out. So my quick thyroid story is I never had issues necessarily before having children. Where it all starts, right? But after I had my son, and he is 17 now. Yes. I was very fatigued. Didn't know that anything was necessarily wrong. Went in for my, 6-week postpartum checkup. My OBGYN, they said I was good to go, fine. They asked me all the standard questions and I was like, oh yeah, I'm tired and la 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 la. And they're like, oh yeah, you're a new mom. And I'm like, right. Yep. Big life change, of course. Right. I was 25. So I didn't know. I didn't have any other health issues or concerns or anything necessarily. Wasn't on any medications, didn't have any other comorbidities, anything like that, co-infections, nothing that I knew about, right? Just really, really fatigued. Of course, my hair was falling out and everything. But again, postpartum, right? Postpartum. And I went to my chiropractic appointment and to get adjusted and everything, and they asked me the same question there. How was I doing? And I was talking about how fatigued I was, and they were a little more thorough though and said, well, how tired? And I said, well, I can't carry the baby from the car, from the parking lot into the clinic here without having to stop halfway to put him down. Like I physically, my arm fatigues and I have to put him down in his car carrier, his car seat. And they said, well, let's run some tests because that's not normal and that's not okay. They were thinking maybe it's an iron deficiency, maybe there's something else going on, but they did run a thyroid panel and thyroid popped up, right? So I was on, I had postpartum thyroiditis, which your thyroid goes hyper and then hypo. And so then I was on a thyroid medication. I was also nursing and everything. So as soon as I was done nursing and my thyroid had kind of leveled out, he was over a year old. He was over a year old, about 16 months old, 17 months old. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get off the thyroid medication, see how this goes. Okay. So I actually stopped taking my thyroid medication for a few weeks and found out I was pregnant again and could not come off of it. So I had to continue on with my thyroid medication through that pregnancy, through that birth, etc. Another 2 years later, I was like, okay, I want to come off of it again. Found out I was pregnant again. Yes, I know, right? Yes. Okay, so I have 3 children, all 2 years apart. So I had to be on thyroid medication for 5, almost 6 years. And I told my endocrinologist then, when I was done with all of it, and I was like, we are not having any more kids. Snip, snip. We are good to go here. I said, I want to come off of this. And he said, I don't think that's possible for you. And I said, I want to do everything I can to try. I'm going to try. And he said, oh, okay, I can't stop you. I was like, all right, okay. So I did try. And I worked with an Ayurvedic practitioner and really worked on it. So here are some of the things. So when we talk about this, and the reason I share my story is that the human body is amazing as long as it has the ability and opportunity to improve in function and healing. So that's what we focus on, right? And that's not the case for everybody, but I like to share my story because it's true, and there's other people out there that can have the same story too. It's possible, right? Or even if you're on a thyroid medication or something, there are a lot of things that you can do that can improve your thyroid function and everything in your system. So these are some of the things. Adaptogens. I talk about the adrenal balance here a lot. This is really, really important for the upload here. Their first ingredient, ashwagandha, which is really, really helpful herb for thyroid. I don't know why people talk about it sometimes like it's not good for thyroid. It really, really is. But specifically to be absorbed sublingually, that's how ashwagandha is most effective in your system. So that's why it's in a tincture. Working on your gut health, liver, gallbladder, gut connection is really, really important. Managing your stress, and then again, managing your other hormones, estrogen and progesterone, because elevated estrogen can actually impact your thyroid function as well. So we want to make sure we're not missing anything. And if you haven't gotten a Dutch test or haven't had a thyroid panel, make sure you go below this video, click the link, learn more about that overall, because that's essential that we're looking at that full piece. But the last thing that I want to leave you with is actually one of my favorite books, my favorite books about thyroid. I recommend this book to everybody that I talk to that has a thyroid issue and they want to improve their thyroid function, because the same techniques are in here are the same ones that I did. You know, and there's more, but like, you know, again, working on all these things and the things that are in this book. So it's called Healing the Thyroid with Ayurveda by Marianne Teitelbaum. I actually have done a podcast with her as well, so you can search for that on my podcast also. But this is an incredible resource, especially if you have been struggling with thyroid, struggling with the effectiveness of what you're doing, or feeling like, yeah, my thyroid numbers are fine, but I don't feel good still. I still feel like there's something wrong with my thyroid. There may be an issue with receptors, with some of these other things here that will impact your thyroid function. Absolutely. So let's take a look at it. Go below this video, click the link, and then let me know if you have any other questions. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you need anything else, and I will chat with you later.